We don't see them on, so there we go.
So I can go ahead and make the roll call, or I can share these preliminary news about no preliminary notes about the meeting. That can go either way. I think I just go ahead and start with the roll call.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I am here. Let's start. Brian. I think he hasn't joined. Brian Robinson hasn't joined yet. Daryl.
I'm here.
Edward. I see that he hasn't joined yet. Albert.
Here.
Al Shadeh.
Here.
Gerardo.
Here.
Mayura.
Here.
Nathan.
Here.
Celeste.
Here.
Amanda. Paul. I think that she's not here, but I think we have four anyway. Again, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we do have quorum. We can go ahead. And on that note, I will read a quick a reminder, and I would read it in English. So in Spanish, I'm sorry. So if you want to listen to it in English, now's the time to switch to the English channel, and vice versa. So here it goes. Solo para recordar que como somos una escuela bilingüe, esta reunión puede ser, los participantes en esta reunión, sean los miembros de la Junta, presentadores, pueden hablar en español o en inglés. Si se sienten cómodos sin traducción, pueden, no necesitan hacer nada, no necesitan seleccionar ningún canal. Pero si desean traducción, por favor seleccionen el canal de idioma en el que prefieren escuchar la Junta, sea en español o sea en inglés. Invitamos a los participantes a escribir preguntas y comentarios para la Junta, aunque la Junta no podrá responder directamente durante la reunión. En un plazo de 2 semanas publicará las respuestas a las preguntas y un resumen de la información en el sitio web de LAMP. Como mencionó Jessica al inicio, tenemos 3 estudiantes y 3 nuevos miembros del personal que compartirán lo que les entusiasma de este año escolar. Los estudiantes son Theo Littlepage, Daniela Castro, y Amanda Arellano, que es gerente de educación especial, que representará a los estudiantes que asistieron al programa de verano en el año escolar extendido del LAM. Y los nuevos miembros del personal que se unen al LAM son Jen Fox Thomas, gerente de cumplimiento de educación especial, Tabitha Pulido, de la comunidad Orcas, y Gabriel Guzmán, de música. And I think these are all the notes I have. So back to you, Daryl.
Thank you, Fernando. At this time, could you, sorry, just looking at the agenda. I can't see the agenda. I'm on my phone. I'm still having issues with my computer. Could you please tell me what's next on the agenda, Fernando?
Yes, of course. So we start agenda with the, oh, I'm sorry. I think that we start agenda right with the ED report. So Jessica, what if I'm correct? And we start with the ED report. Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, no, I think the next thing is the approval of the
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
of the meeting minutes, the agenda, and acknowledging the timekeeper.
Yes, Daryl. That's
Thank you.
exactly what Jessica had mentioned.
All right, hopefully everyone has had an opportunity, board members have had an opportunity to review the previous board meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments, changes, questions? No? Okay, if not, can we go ahead and get a motion to approve those minutes? Anyone?
I found a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. And then I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the timekeeper, although Zeleste, you and I can't remember from the last meeting. Did you agree to do these henceforth now and for as long as you're on the board? Not to put you on the spot in front of everyone.
Sure.
Is that a sure? I'm not good at reading lips.
Sure, I can
Okay.
do it.
Oh, okay, thank you, Celeste. And if you get tired of doing it, we can figure out a way to rotate. All right, so thank you, Celeste. And are we up to Jessica now? Okay, perfect.
Well, thank you, all of you. We're very excited here. It's the first day of school, and we have brought some students. We've invited some students and some new staff members to share a little bit about what they're excited about the school year as we launch the SY 24-25 school year. So I would love to invite Miss Amanda Ariana to speak first. She's representing our students who are able to attend the extended school year program at LAM in July. And Amanda, we'd love to hear from you.
We can't hear you, Amanda.
Amanda, you're on mute, sorry. Mr. Chris, you can hold on the presentation.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Then we're going to have Amanda jump over here with a great demonstration of collaboration and teamwork.
Switching up.
There you go.
Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Arellano. I'm the Special Education Manager at LAM. And so this summer, I had the privilege of being able to teach our extended school year classroom. We had a class, it was a 4-week program, and the service was offered for special education students who it was deemed necessary to provide services for over the summer. And so it was 9 students that we had, and it was diverse needs students. We had ages 4 to 6. And so part of that program was to really help us prepare for what would be our learning lab. And so that, that's more of a resource room for some of our students who have higher needs and who require more one-on-one assistance. And so this was really kind of like a trial time for us to prepare for that. But we really try to cater it to our student interests. And so we had weekly themes. We had Animal Week, Transportation, Nature Week, and also Beach Week. And so kind of the way that it worked is that we would always try to do lessons related to those themes. For example, I'll give you the example of Nature Week. I think that was probably their favorite because we had the kids do a scavenger hunt outside. They all had their paper and had to look for different items outside. Then we actually had them assist us to set up the tent. We had a picnic, a mat out. We cut up some fruits, and we did these different activities to really get them engaged and to really experience some of these activities that we do outside so that they could make some really great connections. Anyway, the kids seemed to really enjoy it, and we definitely enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun with that, and we're looking forward to the new school year. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Amanda, for sharing that. I also see that we have one of our students, Theo. Hi, Theo. There you are. Theo, if you want to share a little bit with us why you're excited about this school year or a little bit about your day today.
the Akko Mako community is really exciting. I like the teachers. And today we didn't learn much, but yeah, it was fun.
Is there anything you're excited about this year that you're looking forward to doing at Lamb?
I'm looking forward to learning more about my grade that I moved up from lower elementary,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that I'll have a good school year. And yeah.
Well, we're so glad that you came there. I see your brother there. Do you want to introduce him?
This is Oscar, my brother who was in the Mataponi community, but now he's in the school at DCI.
And
And
we hope you had a great day, Oscar. Anything that you remember about Lamb that you think is important for us that helped you
um
at DCI today?
um definitely like how to read.
Mhm.
And also it kind of helped the operations helped me. I mean, like the type of operations you guys do there at Lamb, it helped me
Be independent.
to be independent.
Oh, that is wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, we really appreciate Oscar and Theo that you were here to share with us as we talk about how we support Lamb. And you're the reason that we do it. So we really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. Thank you. All
Thank you. Goodbye.
right. Have a good night.
You too. You too.
All right. See you tomorrow. We also have 3 staff members who are new to Lamb, and I just wanted to have a quick moment for them to say hello. They have spent the past 2 weeks with us getting ready for today. And so our first up is Miss Jen.
Hey, everyone. Very nice to meet you. I am Jen Fox Thomas. I am the new IEP Compliance Manager. I get really excited about spreadsheets, and that's going to come into play here a lot. And I'm excited to be here. I'm also really excited about Yo puedo hablar español un poquito, and I really want to get fluent. So I'm very excited about that. I was so impressed by Lamb's PDs and the true bilingual, where every aspect of the whole culture in the day is bilingual. And that was really awesome. And then the biggest thing I think I'm excited about is being part of the team here and supporting 2 major things that are really close to my heart. One is student rights and their right to an education that really impacts their life, no matter what their abilities, and also parent rights and their parental voice in the education of their children. So those are both really exciting things for me.
Thank you, Ms. Jen, and we feel very lucky to have you. On our day, the community building afternoon, we had our Lamb Olympics, if you'll go with that. And Ms. Jen led quite a community building activity where she got everyone to cross through collaboratively through shark-infested waters, and you'll just have to ask her about that. But as far as I know, there were no shark bites through the situation. So thank you, Ms. Jen. También es un honor para introducir al señor Gabriel. Él es nuestro nuevo maestro de música. Señor Gabriel, si quieres compartir algo.
Sí, gracias, Jessica. Buenas tardes a todos. Pues estoy muy feliz de integrarme a la comunidad de LAMB como maestro de música. Yo soy de México y he trabajado en escuelas Montessori en México y ahora aquí en Estados Unidos. Tiene 3 años más o menos que vivo aquí en Washington y, y estoy muy contento. Tuvimos estas 2 semanas para preparar el ambiente y fue una emoción muy grande trabajar cada detalle dentro del salón para recibir a los niños. Y hoy ya tuve por primera vez algunos grupos que vinieron a clase de música y pues bueno, estamos tratando de hacer lo mejor para que tengan una clase de música divertida, atractiva, en la que aprendan movimiento, música, repertorio en inglés y español y que principalmente se la pasen muy bien. Así que estoy emocionado en este año por la comunidad, por los estudiantes, por supuesto, y por hacer música con todos los niños de LAMP y con todos los otros maestros que también ya me han dicho que tocan y que quieren cantar y todo eso, ¿no? Entonces, es un periodo muy emocionante para mí.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
De nada.
Bueno, estamos bien contentos por tener señor Gabriel y Salón de Música está cerca de mi oficina, entonces estoy emocionada también para escuchar música todo el día.
Así es, gracias a todos.
Well, I will thank our staff and students for coming and joining us. Unfortunately, our other student isn't able to join us at this time. You're welcome to stay on, of course, but I also want to release you. It's been a big day here at Lamb, and if you're excited, please come watch the recording later. So thank you so much for joining us, especially on the first day. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros el primer día. So I will roll into my ED report now, which is the next item in the agenda, and then we'll move to the committees. So we did have a really exciting first day of school, which are some pictures hot off the presses of our students coming in. I'm excited to share a little bit more about today and then introduce you to our LAM staff. And then I want to take a couple minutes to talk about what we're going to be focusing on this school year in terms of our 3 strategic plan pillars and our 4 priorities. And I'm going to remember to slow down because I know we're getting translation for this too. So today we had returning students. And so our new students, mainly our 3-year-olds, will be coming on Wednesday. So we had 467 students here with us. We expect to see 93 more students on Wednesday. We did have about 20 students absent today, and we're following up with each of those students. But it was a very calm day, given that it was the first day of school. I know we had lunches arrived a few minutes later than we wished for upper elementary, but for the most part, our new food provider, DC Central Kitchen, has done an outstanding job. Given that it was our very first day with our new food services provider, we're really thrilled. We've had DC Central Kitchen in the building here with us for last week and this, obviously today, but also last week preparing for today. And we're really excited to work with them and look forward to hearing more reports about them. And then I want to take a few minutes to introduce our staff. So Mr. Chris, is the wizard behind this presentation and also this picture. We are really excited if you've ever done a family photo, this was a lot of corralling to get everyone there. But we were super excited to welcome new and returning staff. So we have 153 staff members. You'll see some fun pictures from our Lamb Olympics is what we are calling them in honor of the Olympics. We had a community building day. But Lamb offers 9 days for staff to come back and prepare their environments, to collaboratively plan, to be involved in professional learning, everything from, CPR to talking about dual language and Montessori best practices in a Montessori classroom. We have 101 staff members who make up our academic team, 38 members of the base team, and then 14 of the support team. And that includes operations, HR, finance, executive director in that office. So everyone who is supporting our instructional staff. We've really leaned into our mission. We're very proud of our mission and what makes Lamb such a special school. So everything that we do talks about our mission and our values. And Chris, if you hit the next slide. We spent some time as a staff talking about how our values guide the work that we do with each other, with our students, and with our families. And our values really are reflected in our strategic plan pillars as well. So you can see how they spiral all together, but we, really are invested in ensuring that our students are successful with their academic foundation for lifelong learning in English and Spanish. We have work to do this year to continue to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion. And our bilingual community is really important, not just about building language, but also building capacity to live and understand and build bridges across cultures. PAUSE is our acronym for the values of let me see if I get it, positive words, respectful actions, and zone of learning, which is really that we are all here to learn, both the students and the adults. And then, of course, we can't ask for a better student ambassador to talk about that building of independence to be successful as you move into middle school. But Montessori is really founding in ensuring that our children are able to choose and do and learn independently and have those resources available to them. And together we hope to be bettering our community and both inside and outside of Lamb. So this year we are really going to be leaning into our 3 strategic plan pillars. We worked as a whole team, as a whole one Lamb to talk about our strategic plan pillars, and then also in our individual teams. And as part of the beginning of the year, we have set individual goals around our strategic plan pillars. Obviously, the instructional team is focused on academic excellence, but as a whole school, we're invested in the work that we need to do around diversity, equity, inclusion, and rebuilding the community. And I really want to stress that rebuilding the community is in part when the strategic plan was written in response to the COVID pandemic, which we are still responding to as an educational sector, but also in part to the transitions that Lamb has gone through and wanting to be very intentional that we build the community that we all want to see for our students. I just want to dive a little bit deeper into these. Academic excellence really is talking about these 3 areas, and through the board meetings, I'll be reporting out under each of these pillars. The first is excellent teaching, and that's really about hiring and recruiting and supporting our amazing instructional staff that we have here at Lamb. The second is focused on our curriculum and assessment and making sure that we're true to the Montessori and dual language model that we have. And the third is really ensuring that we're using data to drive the outcomes for our students. So for academic excellence, this year, we're setting goals around hiring and retaining highly qualified staff, and then developing professional learning pathways for staff members. I want to highlight that this year we have 1 day dedicated to professional learning in every month at Lamb. 4 of those are early release days, and the other months are full day professional development days. We have worked with the Canizales group, which is a group that specializes in dual language learning and has worked with our staff previously. And they'll be coming and supporting our staff both during the professional learning days, as well as providing on-site coaching while our students are in the building. Second, we worked very hard on building out our scope and sequence in alignment with the Common Core standards. And we're going to continue to implement that and refine that work this year, making sure that we have a guaranteed curriculum that's accessible to all of our students across classrooms. And then finally, under All Children Thrive, I do want to acknowledge that the DC CAPE results were released at the end of last week, so we have not had a time to digest them in the way that we hope to do so. But we will be digging into the individual data, comparing it to the data that we had gathered in the spring from the NWEA, DIBELS, and Lectora as we continue to plan for our students. But we are overall pleased by the initial look at the data. And on the next slide, you can see just a snapshot of, let's see if Chris can go to the next slide. There we go. You can see a quick snapshot. The yellow column there is Lamb, and blue is the average for Washington, D.C. schools. So you can see that Lamb is performing well compared to all of Washington, D.C., but we would like to dig in to see where there's places for improvement and growth and what are some things that we've learned that may be reflected in this data. So more on that to come. It's really important to us to take a step back and look at our framework for diversity, equity, and inclusion. As a leadership team, we built this phrase to really remind us of where we want to go with this. We will be throughout the year beginning to work with families and board members and staff to build out a framework to look at diversity, equity, inclusion in terms of our academic results for our students, in terms of our recruitment and retention of staff, and in terms of our interactions with families. So our goal is that we have a school where students and staff feel welcome, seen, heard, and included, and have opportunities to participate and succeed in a safe environment. And then finally, our third strategic plan pillar is focused on rebuilding community. So one of the goals around strengthening community was making sure that we calendared out community events, from our virtual charlas to our cafecitos to our work with the PTO. We're really pleased to have shared out different calendars with the community at the beginning of the year about ways that you can get to know your children's friends, as well as get to know better LAM staff. And we have an annual plan to really also share out important topics that we want to make sure that families have access to, including what does a Montessori classroom look like, where are the resources that you might have if your child is struggling at school, and other ways that you can be involved. So we've published those calendars and created a Google Calendar in which families can subscribe to the community events at LAM. Second, we want to continue to improve our communication. And so we'll be continuing to gather feedback on how we are doing with that. And then, of course, we want to promote our PAS values. In addition to the 3 strategic plan pillars that we'll be focusing on throughout the year, we've set aside 4 priorities specifically for this school year. The first is to look at and evaluate our base model and investigate what models may be the most successful for the LAM community. So we've tasked that the operations committee at the board will be working on that, and we expect to bring forward with feedback from our parent community, different models for the board of directors to look at in late fall. Second, the DC Public School Charter Board has adopted a new framework, the Aspire framework, which will be the tool that's used to evaluate charter schools. We know that we really want to dig in and learn and understand this framework, as well as see how it'll guide our work going forward. Our third priority is to look at our beautiful building here. It's a fabulous thing that we're all together in one building, but we recognize that we may want to prioritize projects within the building, whether that might be outside gardens, other ideas. I've heard everything from chicken coops to gymnasiums to looking at our kitchen. And we hope to try to build out a calendar looking forward about what would be the major projects to consider for the facility here. And then finally, we also are focused on our next 20 years. We were lucky enough to celebrate the first 20 years of LAM. And as we look forward to the next 20 years, we hope to continue to strengthen the processes and structures that we use to support both the school staff as well as the leadership. Finally, I wanted to leave you with a quote from Dr. Maria Montessori. I'll just give you a moment to read it. I want to thank the staff for working very hard over the past 2 weeks to create an environment, both in their classrooms and in the larger building, in which we know that our students thrive in English and Spanish and have the opportunity to learn here at LAM. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
I believe we don't have questions, or is there anyone that has a question for Jessica? If not, I think that we can go ahead with the committee reports. Daryl?
Okay, thanks, Fernando. Let's go ahead and start with. Sorry. I can't. I'm having. Okay. Are you
It's
all
okay.
hearing an echo?
Not an issue. I think that we start with the finance committee.
Hold on.
So I
All right.
think it's Mr. Jerry with the Finance Committee.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Jessica. Oh, Daryl, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Am I still echoing?
No, you stop that going.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So just want to give a quick update on the finance committee. We met last week to review the year-end financials. I'll let Brian do a little quick overview of that. I'm happy to report that we ended the year on a positive, on a good positive note. We had positive net income at the end of this year. Brian will go over that in a little bit. Even with the fact that enrollment was less than we anticipated last year, and that we were dealing with that throughout the year. There was some additional income that came in, along with expenses that were significantly less than we had anticipated at the year, leading to a net income for the year. So that is great news. And I'm going to let Brian in just a second move over with that. The other thing is he'll talk about a resolution brought to the board in regards to the retirement plan contributions. It's done every single year. That we need to vote on at the end of that. So, but we'll let Brian do that. Give us a little bit of information on that as well. And Brian, to you.
Happy to jump in. Don't know. Yeah. I'll just speak to the numbers. Don't have sharing, and you all have had that presented to you. We'll highlight the numbers we have are subject to audit. There will be some changes, but at this point we expect relatively minor. The actual audit process in detail will be beginning late September, early October, with the mindset that we need to be providing to PCSB and to our bond trustee the final audit in mid-December. As Jerry indicated, the numbers have ended up positive. We went into the year actually budgeting a small deficit. When the enrollment came up short, we were concerned about it becoming quite a bit heavier of a deficit. But cost savings largely in the personnel realm, with some vacancies that we had throughout the year, and thereby did not fill the budget. We also had budgeted conservatively for the transition that we were going through leadership-wise at the outset of the year, and had budgeted for quite a bit of consulting support to help us bridge that process. Having budgeted conservatively, we were able to come in under budget on that. As Jerry noted, we did have a couple of additional revenue items that came through late in the year. Some adjustments out of OSSI on relative to our categorical enrollment, and some final COVID funding out of the city, if you will. But all of those led to a nice positive bottom line in terms of the income statement and positive cash flow for the year. For those who've had a chance to look over the draft financial dashboard, any questions on any of the numbers presented? We can come back to that if anybody does have any questions. Jerry mentioned having a resolution. This is in regards to our 401k retirement plan for the staff. This is largely an annual boilerplate resolution, if you will. In essence, is reaffirming what we've budgeted in terms of employer contributions to the plan. As a reminder to everybody, and we have not deviated from this for several years, We have a 3% safe harbor contribution. That's pretty much fixed if we want to maintain the safe harbor status of the plan. And then we add to that what has been an annual 2% discretionary contribution. Our plan auditors and the third-party administrators simply like to see formalized the board reaffirmation of those contributions as we wrap up the year. And so we have presented and shared with you the draft resolution. As I said, pretty much boilerplate. All that's changed from the prior years has been the dates and the amounts. But I want to be clear with that with several new board members, just so you have an understanding as to what this resolution is about. And again, if there are any questions, happy to entertain those. If not, staff member, I can't move a vote, but Jerry, I don't know if I throw it back to you or any of the board members.
Yeah, that's fine, Brian. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and entertain. I'll put in the motion to adopt the resolution on the 401k contributions for the prior year.
I second.
Who's get? Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fernando, who's next?
Next is Governance Committee.
Okay, great. Who's presenting? Because Amanda's she's not on the call tonight, right?
Don't see Amanda, but maybe with El Shaddai's help, I can.
Okay.
And Jessica, I might ask for your help with some things too, but I can try to fill in here.
Thank you, Celeste.
So I think the first thing that I'll mention is so one thing that we have been working on and the idea would be to present this at our upcoming board retreat, September 14th. But just in the line of work that the governance committee has been doing to try to sort of streamline processes and get more clarity around the board roles and responsibilities. Two things on this point. First, a board member agreement has been drafted, and this document talks about roles and responsibilities of board members just to provide more transparency and consistency across board members. The idea of this document is that we'll be reviewing it as part of our retreat in September and doing a new round of signatures to this agreement. And I don't know, Jessica, if there was anything particularly on the agreement, otherwise I can speak to the calendar a bit.
I think we just wanted to try and get everybody to try and review it before the retreat and send suggestions to the governance committee so that we can all sign it and everything at the retreat.
Thank you. And the other point on that, what we've done a lot of work, thank you to Jessica on a lot of her support on this over the summer. We spent a lot of last year as the governance committee working on recruitment efforts and felt that the recruitment has been a bit spread across the years. We wanted to try to consolidate that really to make sure that we have the board members, the number of board members that we need, as well as using some of the things that we introduced the last year about trying to understand representation of board members and making sure that there is the diversity and coverage of skill sets that we're looking for. So what we have worked on as a proposal is a plan to better align the terms of board members so that they would align with the school year. This also helps us better align our board work to goal setting and measuring progress throughout the year, as well as allowing us, the governance, to have a more concentrated recruitment period so that we can focus our efforts on looking for the board members that we need to meet those identified skill sets to meet those goals. So what that would look like is that board member terms would begin in August and end on July 31st. This isn't with regard to the 3 years, but this is for anyone rolling on or off of the board. And that would allow the governance committee to do most of its recruitment over the summer, especially because if we're aware in June about board members that will be rolling off, and that helps us understand the skills that we're looking for over the summer. Maybe El Shaddai, am I missing anything on the calendar? I mean, I will get into related to that. We have been working as a governance committee on recruitment. We have 2 potential board member candidates that we'd like to discuss with you tonight. But before I pass on to the 2 board members, maybe I'll pause if El Shaddai or Jessica want to add anything on those first 2 points.
I don't.
No? Okay. So maybe I will speak to one of the candidates. I believe El Shaddai is going to present the second one. The first candidate that we have interviewed, her name is Serena Hayes. She is currently a strategy consultant supporting mission-driven organizations in the areas of strategy implementation, conflict management, and leadership development. But she also has professional experience as an attorney, mediator, nonprofit co-founder, and particularly deep experience in DCPS as director in the Ombudsperson office. So in our conversations with her, we were really impressed by her experience, perspective, really her interest in DEI in schools, community engagement, and has done a lot of work on board governance, board management, and including serving as a board chair in the past. So that is the summary of Serena, but I can take any questions from the board. First, I'll pass it over to El Shaddai to present our second candidate.
Our second candidate, her name is Sarah Gebro. She is a consultant with a private consultant with a lot of experience with educational fundraising, as well as coaching for education executives, directors. She's also had multiple board experiences in nonprofits and school boards. She brings the unique perspective as a previous college admissions counselor. So she has a passion for early college prep and preparedness, starting in elementary. And she also has a passion for Montessori and other progressive learning styles, as well as the bilingual model. So a great fit for LAM. If you all have any questions about her or the previous candidate, let us know.
I think that there are no questions. I don't see any questions also on the chat box. So I don't know. Daryl, do we want to proceed with election?
Yes, could we get a motion for these 2 individuals?
Motion.
Fernando, are you volunteering?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I saw you raising your hand. Oh,
Yes, I'm sorry.
okay,
I was
thanks.
on mute. Yeah.
I second.
Oh, yes, go ahead. Can you, okay, thanks. All right, can we, I didn't hear the actual motion, Fernando. Just for the sake of transparency,
I'm
can you go
sorry.
ahead and,
Sorry that
okay, thanks.
issue with me. Yeah. Motion to enroll these new two candidates that we presented today. One is Sarah Gribble, and the first one that was presented by Celeste is
Serena Hayes.
Serena Hayes. Thank you.
Thanks, Fernando. Okay, now can we get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, can you either show by hands or orally, vocally? Okay. All right, motion passes. Thank you to the governance committee for all your work behind the scenes. Jessica, thank you for working closely with the governance committee to make this happen. Excited to have these two new board members come on board. All right, anything else with the governance committee? All right, if not, we'll move on to operations. Is Eddie on the call?
No, but I will present on his behalf.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think that maybe we can share the slides that you prepared, Jessica, while I talk. Okay. So again, on the spirit of the bilingual school, I will present this report in Spanish. Como parte del comité de operaciones, me complace compartir las actividades clave y los avances que hemos logrado, que se han logrado durante el verano mientras nos preparamos para el año lectivo, el año escolar 2024-2025. Comenzando con el equipo de servicios para familias, que es el siguiente slide, hemos tenido un verano productivo. El equipo dirigido por Claudia Silva Rochelle, con Yesenia Mengíbar como nuestra registradora escolar, y Sabina Díaz como coordinadora de compromiso familiar, se ha enfocado en áreas críticas para apoyar a nuestras familias. Se gestionó con éxito el proceso de matriculación, asegurando un inicio de año sin contratiempos. Además, ha desarrollado un calendario comunitario integral y finalizado el manual para las familias. Ambos servirán como recursos esenciales para nuestras familias a lo largo del año. Pasando al equipo de operaciones, bajo el liderazgo de Juan Alfaro, nuestro director de operaciones, hemos realizado mejoras significativas en nuestras instalaciones con el apoyo de Gina Quintero, Cassandra Santa Cruz y Saraí Sanabria. Se instalaron canastas de baloncesto ajustables para los estudiantes de primaria y elementary, mejorando nuestras instalaciones deportivas. También se ha mejorado la iluminación en la esquina sur de la escuela y en la entrada principal para aumentar la seguridad y visibilidad. Además, se reforzó la estructura de la entrada principal para garantizar que se cumpla con los estándares de seguridad. Cabe destacar que todavía estamos en proceso de contratar a una recepcionista para completar el equipo en LAM. Por último, el programa de guardería para antes y después de clases y enriquecimiento, o BASE, dirigido por Kioma Alfred y coordinado por Milagros Cairo, ha sido un punto focal y central de nuestras actividades del verano. Se ha alcanzado la capacidad máxima en nuestra matrícula, con más de 300 estudiantes registrados, utilizando 13 aulas. El equipo ha estado ocupado organizando materiales y planificando actividades enriquecedoras para cada comunidad extraescolar. Además, se ha ampliado el apoyo para los estudiantes al añadir más personal de apoyo socioemocional, lo cual será crucial para fomentar un ambiente positivo y de apoyo para nuestros estudiantes. En general, estos esfuerzos reflejan el compromiso de proporcionar un entorno seguro, estimulante y de apoyo para nuestros estudiantes y familias mientras empezamos este nuevo año escolar. Jessica, no sé si hay algo para añadir en este trabajo, en este reporte.
No, la única cosa que, como hemos conversado, que no, nuestro enfoque va a ser en base y cómo apoyamos, ¿no? Hacia el edificio y cómo usamos el espacio. Pero no, gracias, muchísimas gracias, Fernando.
No, gracias a ti por tu liderazgo y por, bueno, esencialmente por tu liderazgo para hacer que especialmente, como dices, BASE sea front and central para nuestros planes. I think that now we are ready to for the next committee, which I think is school performance.
Is Brian on the call?
I don't believe Brian is on the call.
I believe El Shaddai is going to share with us. She's ready.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, El Shaddai.
Yep. So we were basically talking about our main priorities for this school year. First, I would say is the Aspire framework, as this is new for all schools this year. We're going to have to dig into that and figure out exactly what we need to learn, what metrics we need to establish, and how we're going to put that into a framework for LAM. I think the next thing that we talked about is the scope and sequence that is being rolled out this year. So one of the things we're going to do at the retreat is trying to dig into that and figure out exactly how we're going to monitor the rollout of that. Next, we talked about in line with the strategic plan, all students achieving growth. And monitoring that. We've previously had dashboards and basically figuring out how we're going to monitor that. And lastly, but not least, I would say teacher recruitment and retainment for sure. We talked about exit interviews and trying to gather that data and following it to make sure that we're retaining our teachers as much as possible. Jessica, if you have anything to add, feel free.
No, thank you, El Shaddai.
Thank you, El Shaddai. Jessica, I missed part of your presentation earlier. Did you mention the fact that DC Cape results have? Okay, you did. Perfect. All right. Anyone have any questions for school performance? All right. Well, if not, we're close to the end of our meeting. You might recall from last school year, we started doing something different, and we call it For the Love of Lamb. So if anyone wants to share why they love the school, and even an example or two. Fernando, you want to go first? I see you raising your hand.
Sí, gracias,
Yeah.
Daryl. Yo quiero reconocer primero porque habiendo llegado a LAMP a través de, en realidad, de un proyecto en el cual nos centramos en en pilares básicos para el crecimiento de LAMP, los cuales han sido mencionados hoy. Me llena de satisfacción ver cómo estos se cristalizan, ¿no? Es una rara oportunidad para uno poder ver como un trabajo que se hizo con mucha dedicación con el equipo de Compass hace unos meses, ya años, y bueno, ya acá está Mayura, que fue parte del equipo además, ver cómo se cristaliza día a día. Solamente a reconocer a la comunidad por el apoyo, a la comunidad de familias, de estudiantes, al staff, a los maestros, al board y por supuesto a Jessica con su liderazgo.
Estoy de acuerdo, Fernando. Es increíble el progreso de estos 3 años después del proyecto de Campus y estoy muy emocionada de ver todo el progreso y de ver todas las ganas que that LAM has earned, and it's been an honor to really be part of all of this. So congrats, Jessica and team, on everything, and shout out to the whole team for a great first day of school.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Mayura. Anyone else?
I just want to, if I can, just take a moment again.
Of course you can.
I just really want to thank again the entire LAM staff who's worked really hard for today. And it was super exciting to see the children here, and I just really want to thank all of the Lamb staff for the work that they've done over the summer, and they did today, and they're going to do for the year. So thank you.
I guess I'll echo in on the staff and include Jessica in that, because I felt that over the summer, it was not quiet, which is a great thing. I mean, I think that there was so much hard work done over the summer, so many changes behind the scenes, just a lot of effort put in that may not be as visible, but is really making a difference in making or just improving transparency, collaboration, coordination, and really alignment around our goals. So I just want to thank Jessica in particular. I know, at least from the perspective of the governance committee, she has been working tirelessly hand in hand with us, but I see the reflection across everything that's been presented, and I know that she was not there alone. So thank you to everyone who put in such a hard effort this summer.
Thank you, Celeste. Anyone else? All right, I just want to jump in for and say a couple things. One, this is the first board meeting, Lamb board meeting I've been on where so much Spanish has been spoken. So I just want to give a huge shout out. Yes, huge shout out to Fernando, who continues to push us in that area, and for actually practicing what he preaches. So thank you for that. Want to give a huge shout out to Jessica. Similar to what Celeste mentioned, Jessica, I've mentioned this to you in person. I want to say this publicly. Lamb is so fortunate to have you as our leader for so many reasons. But one of the things I appreciate most about you is that you are fearless. No matter, and I'm actually kind of getting choked up because I love this school, but no matter what you've encountered, no matter like how hard or difficult the challenge, and let's face it, like last year was very challenging. You've stepped up in a major way, and I feel like you've worked at this school for longer than what's it been? It hasn't even been a year. It's been what, 9 months? Although there are times where I feel like you've been here for 9 years. So just thank you and for everything you're doing and for how you lead in a drama-free way. And you get stuff done, and you don't ask for public recognition. So yes, thank you, and thank you to Alex, who's not on the call, for all the work that she's doing on the instructional side. And I really feel like this is going to be an amazing year at Lamb. And also thank you to our board members, because particularly those who are leading committees. This is there are times where Lamb board work feels like a part-time job, and you're making things happen, and not everyone sees the actual work that you're doing, but we're definitely seeing the results of that. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Daryl.
All right, well, if there's no one else, wow, okay, so we started a little bit after, I think, 5:35, and we're done at 6:36. So congrats to everyone on a very efficient meeting. Happy first day again to the Lamb team, and looking forward to myself and other board members stopping by the school and seeing all the great stuff that's happening Did you mention when Fall Festival is, Jessica? Sorry if I missed that. You did.
No, I did not. September 21st. So it's a Saturday. Hopefully it's going to be beautiful and would love to see you all out there.
All right. Okay, well, have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Adiós, gracias.